So intermittent fasting is supposed to be pretty simple, right? But there's always that one question that trips everyone up. What can you actually drink? So let's clear up that confusion once and for all. Okay, so picture this. You've planned your eating window, you're all set to go, and then it hits you. You're thirsty. Or maybe you're just craving something that isn't, well, nothing. Yeah, it's a classic roadblock for a reason. Seriously, this is the #1 question you see everywhere. Forums, Google, you name it. And look, getting it wrong can totally derail your efforts, but getting it right, that's what makes fasting feel, actually doable. So let's nail this down. All right, before we jump into the list of yes and no drinks, we've got to talk about why this is so critical. This isn't just about feeling thirsty, it's about making your fast work better and feel easier. Think about this number for a second. Our bodies are like 60% water. That's huge. Water is basically the operating system for everything, from thinking clearly to firing up your metabolism. When you fast, you're trying to work with that system, right? Now here's the thing that most people totally forget. We actually get a ton of our daily water intake from the food we eat. When you're fasting, poof, that source is gone. That's why the risk of dehydration shoots way up and why you have to be so much more deliberate about what you're drinking. So, staying hydrated, that becomes your absolute #1 strategy. Sometimes what feels like a hunger pang is really just thirst. A glass of water can quiet that right down. Plus, it keeps your metabolism humming along, helps you stay focused, and helps you dodge some of those, let's just say, uncomfortable side effects of fasting. So, let's think about this a little differently. Drinking water isn't some chore you have to put up with while you're fasting. No way. It's the support system that helps your body do its thing and get all those benefits you're working so hard for. It really is your lifeline. Okay, with that foundation in place, let's meet your 3 best friends during any fast. These are the drinks that are going to support you, not sabotage you. And you want to know the best part? There's nothing weird or exotic here. You don't need expensive supplements, no special powders, none of that. The most powerful tools for a great fast, they're probably already in your kitchen. All right, first up, the undisputed champion, good old water. I mean, it's perfect. 0 calories, has 0 impact on your fast. It just helps everything work better. Oh, and if you're craving a little fizz to make things more interesting, unsweetened sparkling water is an awesome choice. Go for it. Okay, ally #2, tea. This is where you can start to get a little variety in your day. Green tea is great. It gives you a nice gentle lift and some great antioxidants. And then later in the day, a caffeine-free herbal tea, maybe some chamomile, that can help you wind down. But, and this is the golden rule, it is non-negotiable, absolutely nothing added. No sugar, no honey, no milk, no cream, nothing. And now for what many of us consider the most essential ally, black coffee. It's just a powerhouse for crushing that fasting fatigue. Not only does the caffeine keep you sharp, but there's even evidence it helps your body mobilize fat for energy. How cool is that? But you know the drill. It has to be black. All right, so we know our friends. Now we need to talk about the enemies, the imposters. These are those drinks that might seem totally harmless, but they will slam the brakes on your fast instantly. The line here is actually really simple. On one side, you've got our safe list. On the other, the fast breakers. You see the theme here, right? Anything with sugar, calories, or milk is a no-go. Even something that sounds healthy like fruit juice is just loaded with sugar that'll spike your insulin and boom, fast over. Okay, so knowing what to drink is half the battle. The other half is, actually drinking it consistently. So let's go over a few super simple habits that make all the difference. So here's a 4-step game plan. First, start your day strong. A big glass of water right when you wake up is key to rehydrating. Second, don't just chug a bunch of water at once. Sip steadily all day long. Third, try something warm. A warm cup of tea or even just warm water can be really soothing on an empty stomach and can really help with those hunger pangs. And last, just be smart about your caffeine. A couple cups of coffee or tea are great, but don't go crazy and end up with the jitters. All right, it's time to tackle those tricky what-if questions that always pop up. These gray areas can be super confusing, so let's get some straight answers. So this is a huge one. You see them all over the store. The label says 0 calories, so they're fine, right? Well, the rule here is pretty simple. You gotta read the label. If the flavor is from something natural, like you tossing a slice of lemon or some mint into your water, you are good to go. But the second you see sugar or any kind of artificial sweetener on that ingredient list, just put it back on the shelf. Okay, and now for the final boss of fasting questions. Diet sodas. 0 calories, but they taste super sweet. So what's the deal? Are they in or out?
You know, to be honest, the science here is still a little bit murky. Yeah, they don't have calories, but some research suggests that the super intense sweet taste can actually trigger an insulin response in some people, which is exactly what you're trying to avoid. So the safest, simplest, best advice, just avoid them. It's not worth the risk.
Okay, so let's boil all of this down into a super simple cheat sheet. Rule 1. Stick to your 3 best friends: water, unsweetened tea, and black coffee. Rule 2. Avoid anything with sugar or calories, period. Rule 3. Sip consistently all day long. And finally, just listen to your body. It'll tell you what it needs.
See, mastering what to drink isn't about restriction. It's about taking this one confusing point and turning it into your biggest strength. Now you've got the playbook. So the only real question left is, are you ready to make your next fast the easiest one yet?